Her dad was a nice man.
PZ 17-005. Ms. Fox, can you read the docket into the record?
Docket PZ 17-005, application has been filed by Houchins Industries for approval of a program for signs, Section 290-140 of the Oldham County zoning ordinance for a proposed crossroads IGA located at the 13124 West Highway 42 Prospect. The property is Zone C3 General Business District.
All right, Brooke Beeman with Oldham County Planning and Development Services. The only revision to what Ms. Fox stated is this is an existing Crossroads IGA, not a proposed Crossroads IGA. It's already under construction. It's already been approved. It was just a copy and paste from the last one. I think that's where that got stuck in there. Just wanted to clarify that. The total site size is 1.86 acres, and the existing zoning is C3 General Business District. This is an aerial view of the area, and the site is circled in red. It's at the corner of Highway 42 and Hunter's Ridge Drive. This is the site plan that they submitted showing the program for signs that they are applying for. Just wanted to give you an idea of the orientation of the building and where the signs would be located. And so again, this is a 2012 aerial, so obviously the proposed or the existing development isn't going to be on there, but they are already under construction. And just to give you, like I said, give you an idea of the site plan, it's oriented towards Highway 42 and Hunter's Ridge Road. So the purpose of a program for signs is to create an incentive for a unified visual statement and integrates the designs of signs with the design of the building on which they will be displayed in the surrounding area. It's allowed when owners of one or more adjacent premises or one or more occupants of a shopping center or multi-use building may submit a program for signs to the commission that need not comply with some or all of the requirements of this ordinance. The applicant is requesting a program for signs for a 10,262 square foot Crossroads IGA to allow for the advertisement of multiple activities within the building, which include grocery, fast food, convenience, and fuel. This is the same plan that you saw last month related to the building and the grocery, fast food, and convenience and fuel in Buckner, just located in Prospect. The proposed sign package includes 1 freestanding sign, 4 wall signs, and 3 directional signs, and all signs will be internally lit. These are the building elevations. They're the same as the ones that were submitted for Buckner. This is what's currently under construction. Related to the wall signs, there are 2 48.95 square foot Which sandwich shop signs proposed on the building. There's 1 proposed on the west elevation, which is the grocery side, and 1 proposed on the north elevation, which is on the fuel side. In addition to Crossroads IGA signs are proposed on the building, 1 35 square foot sign on the west elevation and 1 77.5 square foot sign on the north elevation. So these are the elevations showing the proposed signage, 2 of the Which signs and 2 of the Crossroad IGA signs. And just to give you an idea of how they'll be oriented on the site, the north elevation is circled in blue. So 2 signs will be located on the side that's facing Highway 42, and then 2 signs will be located on the west elevation, which faces the shopping center that's directly adjacent to this site. There's 1 proposed freestanding sign. It is a 97 square foot freestanding sign, 15 feet tall, and will be located 15 feet from the property line on the north end of the property, which will be visible from Highway 42. They've also given us information on the 2 square foot directional signs, which are not required to have permits. They're considered exempt because they're directional, but since they did include it in the packet, I thought I would cover that in the presentation. This is the proposed freestanding monument sign. It'll be 97 square feet in totality, and the total height will be 15 feet. And you can see the proposed cabinets on the right bottom corner. And the monument sign, as you can see, will be located visible from Highway 42. It'll be double-sided, so you can see it from each direction of Highway 42. This is looking from the corner of Hunters Ridge Drive and West Highway 42, looking west. And the site in question is located to the right here. Now, you can't really see very well with the black. And this is looking east, back towards Goshen. And this is a temporary gravel road used for construction off of Highway 42. I'd imagine that the sign, based on the location shown on the site plan, that the freestanding sign will be generally in this location, 15 feet located off the property line. And this is showing the both the north and the west elevations. You can see the fuel pumps located in the front as well. And this is showing the north elevation, which is the front of the property. This is Hunters Ridge Drive, located along the side. And the applicant is not proposing any signage on the side that's facing Hunters Ridge Drive. Again, just another view of the north elevation. You can see in the distance that the existing Hunters Ridge Shopping Center is what is bounded. And just another view, basically, of the area that might be where the freestanding sign will be located off of Highway 42. Again, just showing the west elevation where two signs will be located, the Crossroads IGA sign and the Which Witch sign. And this is the side that faces the Hunters Ridge Shopping Center. This is looking east, so you're still seeing the west elevation, but this is further out from the shopping center, just so you could get an idea of how things are oriented. This is the Hunters Ridge Shopping Center sign, just to give you an idea of the existing height. I did try and look up what the existing height of the sign was, but we didn't have any information on it. I'd imagine that it's at a minimum of 15 feet. And just the south view. So this is still the development to your left. These are the condo units that are behind the development. And again, no signage is proposed on the back of the property, the southern portion of the building. So in summary, the applicant is requesting a program for signs for a Crossroads IGA located at 13124 West Highway 146 to include one freestanding sign, which will be 97 square feet, 15 feet tall, and 15 feet setback from Highway 42, from the property line. And two Crossroads IGA wall signs, one at 35 square feet and one at 77.5 square feet, and two Which Witch sandwich shop signs, both of them at 48.95 square feet. So that brings your total of wall signage to 210 square feet, just over 210 square feet, and then your total freestanding signage to 97 square feet. That's all that I have.
Thank you, Brooke. All right, questions for Brooke? Ms. Albertson?
You mentioned the 15-foot freestanding sign. Where is that on this?
On the site plan,
Yeah,
it's circled. There's an arrow that points to it, so it shows the monument sign. You should have it on
no,
yours.
the monument sign isn't 15 feet tall, is it?
Yes.
It's
what
that
they're
one
proposing.
with the different slots in it for all the different people. It's not their own sign.
It is their own sign, yes. The picture, are you talking about the picture I showed you of the Hunters Ridge Shopping Center sign?
Yeah,
That's an existing sign. I just wanted.
right. Well, this is a monument sign. A monument sign isn't 15 feet tall.
What
Is
they're
it?
proposing is, yes, in totality, it'll be 15 feet tall. We'll go back to so the actual cabinet itself will be 8 feet tall if you look at the dimensions here. just over 8 feet tall, and the monument itself, which is the brick base, will be almost 7 feet.
Okay, that's quite a change from monument signs that we've done in the past, I believe. I'm concerned
The
that,
height, I just want to clarify, the height meets our C3 zoning standards. It's just the area, 97 square feet, exceeds our signage standards. So the height is pretty similar to what we see in other developments based on how far it sits back from the property line.
okay. I didn't realize until I examined the information in the packet that this was going to be a drive-through. I go by this place every time I go anyplace, pretty much, and have watched it being built, but I'm concerned that, well, first of all, where's the drive-up window?
It's along the back portion of the property, but we're not, if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But we're
Why are we
not-
talking about the drive-through if it's not about the signs on the drive-through? Okay? This is
Well, that's why
an
I'm
application for the program for
wondering where the window is,
signs.
so that this is the sign at a window.
There's, if you look on your site plan, there's a drive-through sign at the entrance of Highway 42, which
Yes.
I would imagine is pointing to the direction of how you get to the drive-through. There's a sign located at the entrance of Hunter's Ridge.
I understand that, but I don't know where you drive through.
What does that have to do with signs?
The signs ought to tell you.
She
Where to
just pointed
go.
out where the signs are located.
Typically, drive-through signs are placed at entrances to point you to which direction you need to drive, whether it's around
Right.
the building or if it's in the other direction. So it looks like,
Is on the Hunter Ridge side or the east side of the building.
Yes, I understand. I'm familiar with that. So, all right, so maybe I can't talk about this either. The entrance out at 42, it looks like you can only come in one way and go out to the right. Is that correct?
That's correct. That was approved by the Transportation Cabinet. When we did the development plan approval, that was part of the plan.
So that means if you want to come in and go in the front door and get something, you have to go all the way around the back and go out the little Hunter Ridge Road to get back out to 42. Is that correct? To go left?
You
To go left, that's correct, yes.
You can also
And
exit
that-
the other side of the property.
Well, and that, or, yeah, you can also exit into the other commercial development area. There's a interconnected drive there.
Right, right.
Yes. Yeah, and that was intentional because of all the turning movements on US 42 that anybody that wants to go towards Prospect has to come out on Hunter's Ridge Road and take a left. That organizes the traffic a lot better than trying to have another entrance onto 42.
Well, certainly the turning lane that they put in there a few years ago has been a huge, huge help. But does it really go all the way to Hunter's Ridge Road?
I'd like to steer this back to the subject matter at hand.
Yeah, all this has been approved already, and it's all been reviewed by Transportation Cabinet, County Engineer, and site plan is, I can answer your questions after the hearing about all this other stuff, but like Chairman's saying, we're focused on signs.
yeah, just to be clear, if I wasn't clear, this is already an approved development plan. They're just requesting a program for signs due to the amount of uses that they have in one building.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. We'll move into presentation from the applicant.
I'm John Talbot with Barton Werper Talbot and Roberts, 1000 North Hurstbourne Parkway. And thank you for your all's time. I know it's been a long day for you all. And Brooke, you did a terrific job. Thank you for making my job relatively easy. The whole issue here is we're just here for a sign, as Mr. Chairman, you rightly pointed out. Commissioner Albertson, I did want to comment on terms of the right in, right out. We would love to have left in, left outs whenever we got them. That's all been approved by the Transportation Committee. So that was a concession we made. And so those are concessions, not things that we've asked for. I just thought I'd clarify that. In terms of the sign, all of the signs that we have meet code currently. None of them do not meet code, except there's only one exception. And it's a very minor exception, and I think Brooks did a good job pointing that out. In terms of the monument sign, it's just a slight increase in the square footage. It is not very significant. And if you noticed, the biggest reason they did that was for aesthetics. If you noticed, the sign that she showed on the adjacent development was relatively tall and skinny. And to the extent that this is a monument sign where it has the brick base, it just doesn't quite look right if it's tall and skinny. They wanted to have it look more squared off and have the appearance and the aesthetics of it look better. Becomes a more expensive sign to do that, but their thought was that it looked better to do it that way. Let me run through some of my slides. This is the slide of the overview. I think you all are familiar with that since Brooks has already given that part of the presentation. One thing I did want to point out is that with this sign, you can see the trees. My arrows are a little bit off, just to the right of that, right above the hunters. Those trees block the view of the sign as well. And so part of the reason we have placed the sign where we have it, and also the size will be of help to, is that it will be more visible for the people traveling west, coming from towards Prospect. And from a safety standpoint, I mean, number one, you've got them coming up on Hunter's Ridge. And if people are going to pull into the development, you don't want them to have to brake quickly where they just see it. This will give them a lot of time to see it, know that it's coming up, and give them a safe period of time to apply the brakes and slow down without causing any traffic issues. This is the site actually looking to the west, and the trees that I was pointing to are actually cut off. They're just not in the vision of the place. They're the trees kind of towards this area, but behind where you don't see them that I was talking about. The pine trees that are here on the corner, those are part of the site, and those, I believe, will all be removed. Is that correct, Andrew? This is Mr. Webb, by the way. He's the project manager for Houchins. I think you all may be familiar with him. He's been up in front of you all a couple times as of late. And on this site, not only this site, but also the one that's in Buckner that we had approved already, that's already gone to fiscal court and approved. And I might add, the one that was approved by fiscal court last week is almost identical to this, and the signs are identical as well. So we're not asking for any of the signage to be any different. Here is I'm going to skip over that. I don't think that was a very good one. This one right here is the monument sign that we're talking about. Is that going to help me out? Well, see here. Right here is the monument sign we're talking about. And if we had the size of the sign actually would meet code if we pulled it back another 10 feet. But as you can see, if we did that, it would be in the middle of the parking lot, and this is already on approved development. And so it just doesn't make sense to pull it back to where it is, reduce it. It makes it difficult for the traffic flow. We'd have to reduce parking. And the biggest part is that the visibility that I pointed out with those trees already. It will be a much more aesthetically pleasing sign. It's a more expensive and better looking sign, and the visibility on the sign will be much, much better and improved. I'm going to submit, these are the same pictures that Brooke already showed you with the Witch sign. This I wanted to show you. You may have already seen this from our presentation, but these are the other signs that are around the property. It's interesting looking at this slide. You get the impression that they're 20 feet tall, but if you look at the dimensions, these signs are only about 4 feet tall. So these are very small signs that we're talking about, and all of these signs meet all of the codes currently and really don't even require anything at all. It's this sign that we're talking about, and again, all we've done is make it a little bit wider to make it more visible. Makes it a better looking sign. It'll be more visible from the road. And my apologies to the graphic person, that lady to the right, it looks gigantic next to her. Her height dimension is about right. She's about 6 feet tall, but she's so skinny that the sign in comparison looks like it's gigantic, and it's truly not. The sign is really not that big, so just be aware of that when you look at it. It's really, the height is probably about what you saw in the other development sign. This is just a little bit wider since we're doing the more expensive brick monument style, just to make it look more balanced. I think that's it. Do you all have any questions for me? We've got the project manager, as I mentioned, from Houchin, Mr. Webb, here with us. If you have any more questions from him, but too late in the day, I'm hoping you don't.
See no one in the audience who's going to have questions or testimonies. Anyone on the commission have questions of the applicant? All right, you wish to give any final statements?
No, I do not, Chairman. Thank you very much.
Now, Mr. Urban, protocol.
Well, again, this is an application for a program for signs, and it's simply that the applicant is requesting and hoping that you'll consider approval. In your staff report, there is a list of the signs as a summary. It's a freestanding sign that's 97 square feet, 15 feet tall, and 15 feet front setback. Crossroads IGA wall sign number 1 is 35 square feet. Crossroads IGA wall sign number 2 is 77.5 square feet. Which Sandwich Shop sign number 1 is 48.95 square feet. Which Sandwich Shop number 2 is 48.95 square feet. So the total proposed freestanding signs is 97 square feet, and the proposed wall sign package is 210.4 square feet.
All right, Mr. Carter.
That's correct.
Thank you. All
Your
right,
recommendation for approval or denial, and you've got reasons in your staff report for either one of those, should you choose to pick one.
all right, we'll open the floor up for a motion. Mr. McWilliams, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I will move to approve the program of signs as presented to us today with all stipulations, including strict adherence to the binding elements that provided to us in our staff report. I think strict compliance with the regulations would create some hardships because of unique topographical conditions in this area. If you're coming from Goshen toward Prospect up into that area, that rise on the road that we're talking about, that's on you before you know it, and Hunter's Trace is on you before you know it, and it's just almost imperative that any sort of establishment trying to attract people have a large sign like that to do so, and certainly the other signs are consistent with approvals I believe that we have made in the past, so there you have it.
And, Mr. Chairman, I did forget to cover, there were 3 proposed binding elements. Number 1 is that there be no changes in use or changes to the program for signs presented on February 28, 2017, without review by the Oldham County Planning Commission. Number 2 is sign lighting shall be designed to not shine in the eyes of the driver. Number 3 is that the sign permit applications must be submitted to staff for review and approval.
I appreciate the extra attention drawn to that, but I believe that was part of my motion.
So you'd like to incorporate those?
I didn't say
Well,
those out loud, but
whatever, it's fine.
yeah, you did mention those. but
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. Perfect.
I just
All right.
didn't say them out loud.
Motion on the floor, do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. Mr. Carter? Fair enough. Discussion? Discussion? Question, we'll move into a roll call vote. Ms. Fox?
Mr. Klingenfuss,
Yes.
Mr. Metzger,
Yes.
Mr. McWilliams,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Albertson? Dr. Arvin?
Yes.
Ms. Bonet?
Yes.
Ms. Crosby?
Yes.
Mr. Falvey?
Yes.
Mr. Horton?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. Fox. Okay, PZ 17005 has been approved on a vote of 11 to nothing. Thank you, Ms. Fox. All right, Amy.
You will have Planning Commission next month. We have two docketed items. One is a zoning map amendment for Hermitage Farms, and the other is a revised subdivision plan for Cherry Glen. So, Cherry Glen. So you will have a Planning Commission next month. And we did get one training opportunity. I will send that out. I believe it's in March or April. It's a David Pike training that'll be held at KIPTA, but I'll forward that information out as I get it. But other than that, good to go.
Thank you, Ms. Alvey. All right, if there's nothing else, certainly.
She is now employed by Louisville Metro. I don't know. She's working. She's fine.
All right, if there's nothing else, we will stand adjourned.
I didn't get all that. I didn't either. Somebody's now employed by local metro.
I'll get that, Amy. Come on, dear. You got plenty to do.
Good clock.